Marie Louise Von Franz, who was perhaps the greatest female colleague and embodiment of Jung's work, said she saw that men in the field of psychology were manifestly jealous of Jung. This got projected onto him by them in juvenile ways, as they tried to negate him and his life and work because it was at a level they could neither reach nor understand. In an interview, she elaborated on this and the limited understanding his life and work such individuals represented. Certain men feel crushed by Jung, and they say, "I must be different, just to be original." And that means they haven't understood that it is a reality with which they must be confronted, and the task is to confront oneself with the same reality with which Jung has confronted himself. And then, if one does that oneself and stays loyal to one's own work on oneself, one is constantly confronted by one's own shadow dreams and reminded that one is not Jung and hasn't got as far as he got. But the danger lies in self-inflation. To come after Jung is a very different state, and one has to fully realize and have the humility to also recognize this is an exceptional man. In my idea, he is the size of Lao Tzu or someone like that. A very rare sort of man who is born every 2,000 years in history, and one cannot compare oneself to him, but try to learn from him what one can and know that there are enormous dimensions which we don't understand, yet which he understood. Once, in the psychological club in Zurich, there was a big quarrel, and we all got pulled into it. Jung afterwards told us, and I include myself, "You all behaved as if you had never heard of Jungian psychology because it hasn't yet become really yours." Most of the pupils of Jung have only gotten one facet of Jung. He had so many facets, and instead of realizing this, the Jung they understand isn't the whole Jung, it's their Jung, the facet they got. When one studies Jung, inevitably, one does become contained in him. But in another way, not. Because each time you realize something in yourself, in your own way, then it becomes yours. I, for instance, found out that when I read Jung, I can read his books 20 times and don't keep them in mind, by heart, so to speak. But when I do some creative research work, then read his books, and it ties in with what I'm doing in my own work, then it clicks, and it stays forever. Then it is as if I had acquired it, but only when I've really worked out my own approach. And that is so different from the animus who would simply quote Jung. So quite apart from that, what do I feel? What do I see? What have I experienced in my life? Where am I? What can I say? Not simply because Jung says it, but because I know it myself too, for my own reasons, and only that is valid.